Let me tell you how I got myself into this mess, how I got myself out of it, and what I learned along the way so that you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. By the end of this video, you will have step-by-step instructions for the most satisfying toy purge and playroom organization. But first, why am I doing this? Because we're Mabel's Labels. We make labels for the stuff kids lose. I'm talking actual custom peel and stick labels that you put on your kids' things, and then magically they make it home at the end of the day. These labels will survive the dishwasher, the washing machine, they'll even survive the inside of your kids' shoes. Which means I work for a company that's all about making parents' lives easier. Which means I work for a company full of parenting wisdom. I mean, our co-founder, Julie Cole, has 6 kids alone. Which means I take their ideas and research and put it into a video to share with all of you as part of my job. So welcome to my office for the day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on that bell. We're gonna have some fun. Really, this playroom organizing journey began when my kids decided they really wanted a play couch for Christmas. I thought this was a great idea. I ordered it right away. It arrived quite quickly. We unboxed it and quickly realized it was much larger than we had anticipated. And suddenly I spiraled into trying to figure out how I was going to make this all fit. So with 5 days out from Christmas, I did a massive and long overdue toy purge in hopes we can make some room. So naturally, I overthought the entire process and began by endlessly Googling ideas on where to begin. Then conveniently, while I was scrolling Instagram, this happened.
Oh, stop. That's so funny. We purge toys before every Christmas. Here's how we decide what stays and what goes. TheEveryMom.com. I need to read this article. The irony.
The Every Mom literally came out with a post exactly about purging your playroom.
Therapeutic? I hope it's therapeutic. It doesn't feel therapeutic. It feels stressful. And children don't know what's best, aren't in charge of the family, aren't great at making purging decisions, will slow the entire process and will add a layer of stress. This is why I'm doing this while they are at school. 1, gather all the toys. 2, sort into categories. 3, purge the obvious. 4-year-old does not need 167 Matchbox cars. It's true. Gather, sort, purge. Gather, sort, purge. Gather, sort, purge. Gather, sort, purge. So we gonna waste some food.
Gather, sort, purge kind of became my mantra. So I made a list because crossing things off a list is incredibly satisfying. So began phase 1 of this 4-phased process, gather. I cleared out any larger items from the playroom so that I had ample space. Next, I collected all the toys in our home. I'm talking upstairs, downstairs, closets, bedrooms. Where toys were hiding, I found them and I brought them all into one space. We have a lot of play sets, and the ultimate goal was to be able to reunite all the little odds and ends and pieces to a play set. My biggest tip here is to check every single nook and cranny. I'm talking backpacks, I'm talking bags, pockets, anywhere that toys can be hiding. Through my years of parenting, I have learned that kids really like to collect things into bags and then forget they ever existed. Maybe that's just my kids. So to be honest, this was by far the easiest step for me because I'm really good at making a mess. However, when I had all the toys piled up in one gigantic pile, I was disgusted by how many toys we had, and I was full of overwhelm and a lot of like mid-project regret syndrome because now I had to sort this mess and I had no idea where to begin, and I just felt overcome with like project paralysis.
This was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. This was a really bad idea.
My tip when you get to this point is coffee and a really great playlist. And if you're looking for a recommendation, you can't go wrong with playing 90s hits.
The station, 90s Pop, on Amazon Music.
Then I hyped myself up for phase 2, which was sorting. To begin sorting, start with 2 obvious categories. In my house, that was dress-up clothes and play food. And then as you start to separate those out from the pile, other categories start to emerge. You'll figure out as you start to work through the pile what makes the most sense for your kids. Also, give yourself permission to have fun with this. You're sorting toys. Let your inner child be free. It's a really stressful process. The less you take yourself seriously and the more you allow yourself to have fun, the better the overall process is going to be. Another important thing is don't forget to take breaks. I'd recommend taking a stretch or movement break about every 30 minutes. I took breaks where I sat on my computer or on my phone, which just added to constantly being hunched over, and my back did hurt a lot the next day. So don't do what I did and take some stretch and movement breaks. When it came to sorting the play sets, I obviously don't remember what all belongs in a set, so I would look up an image online, use that as a reference, and then that way I knew all the little pieces and odds and ends that should go with it. While sorting, I purged anything that was broken or damaged or anything that we had unnecessary doubles of. Don't make the mistake I did and purge too much too soon. Have a pile somewhere off to the side for all the little odds and ends that you're not sure where they belong, because odds are something in there is going to belong to a set and you're going to find out later. And if you purged it too soon, you're going to have to pull out your garbage and go through your garbage to find that piece. And that kind of sucks. After sorting every single little piece of toy, I was very ready to purge. I started by setting up a toy purge station that consisted of a toy purgatory bin, which I will explain in a second, bags for donations, and an area where I could take pictures of any toys we'd want to sell on Marketplace. So toy purgatory is basically a storage bin where I put all the toys that I'm pretty sure my kids are done with, but not 100% confident yet. I find toy purgatory also helps alleviate the pressure as a decision maker. If I'm ever not 100% sure, it can go into toy purgatory, and then I know I'm not ruining my child's life. The purging phase was incredibly satisfying. It was so liberating to let go of all of that extra junk and have a solid inventory of all the toys my children were playing with. Now, I did make one itty-bitty mistake, which was I put our donation bags in our front hallway, and our girls happened to rescue a few toys out of the donation bag before they were sent off. Don't do that. After the purge came the final phase, which was cleaning and organizing. The key here is to make sure everything has a home and that home is labeled. So what I did is I wrote the different toy categories on painter's tape to figure out where I wanted things to go. And then that way it was really easy. If I was putting toys into one bin and they didn't happen to fit, I could easily relocate and shuffle around and figure out what would work best with the space we had and the storage we had and the toys we had. This is also a really great time to wipe out to the cupboards, the drawers, the bins to make sure everything is going back into a clean space. For toys that have a lot of little pieces that belong together, like a magic set or puzzles, I use large Ziploc bags to keep everything together and tidy. This way I can get rid of any damaged boxes or boxes that are taking up too much space. For any toys that have a lot of extra accessories or parts, we like putting them in a separate bin. This is all of our Barbie clothes and accessories, and it's really easy for the kids to take this when they're playing, put everything back into one place, and put it back into the cupboard. To encourage play, we also had some toys out on display. This was also a really good solution for anything that didn't easily fit into a bin. Once all the toys were away, the floor really needed a good vacuum. Finally, once you're happy with how everything is organized, head on over to mabelslabels.com and customize a set of our custom household labels to replace the painter's tape. I have an early reader, so I picked the type font that I find the easiest for her to read. This really gives the playroom that final touch and helps make sure that everyone in the family knows where things go. So here's the final results. Let me know in the comments below if you have any organization goals for the new year, and happy cleaning!